So this video is the update to the conveyor belt, dry aggregate conveyor belt build, and this is kind of how my builds always seem to go. I have an idea and they change, so design, build, design it again, build it again, then design it one more time and build it again, see if you ever finish. But actually we've got it pretty close to getting put together now. A couple cuts, a couple welds, I think we got it. But this was the funny thing was, I scored another free treadmill, and when I went to pick it up, the treadmill was completely intact. It only had a little electrical malfunction. It was tripping the breaker, so I was able to strip it down. So now I have extra square stock tubular steel, so that kind of helped me out. But the funny part was this one actually did have the DC motor in it, which my original plans for this build was to have the conveyor belt powered with the DC motor and use the treadmill's variable speed to control the conveyor belt as the dirt or the dry aggregate, the dirt, the stone, whatever's being excavated, so that the excavator and the earth movers both are in sync, so that the timing is more fluid, so you don't get a backup of material on one end or the other. But we're going to do that with a pedal regulator on the AC motor, because it's long past its return date. But it's a motor. I can use it. I can use it just about anything. And now with this DC motor, since this is a permanent magnet, we're going to just reverse that and turn it into a generator, and we're going to put that into a battery bank and make a little micro wind turbine out of this PVC pipe, and then that will be our electrical backup, kind of augmented power supply for the shop. But that's a separate video and a separate project, and that's how these things spiral out of control. So this was the original roller. No, this came off the new one with the DC motor. So I'm just going to keep those pulleys together, and then we'll have like a little bit of a gear reduction on the windmill. So it won't be a direct drive windmill. It'll be gear ratio to get a little bit more efficiency, to get the RPMs up on these permanent magnet DC motors. So the build, the belt was a hard thing to find in my free budget. But what ended up really becoming a problem was the drive pulley. Those are really expensive, so I had this in a parts bin forever. And what I'm going to do is, this is a 2-inch. If I mount this to the frame, then the roller will spin like it's intended to, except with this, I'm going to cut the hub out of this and then weld it to this drive shaft, and that should hopefully give me enough torque on this belt to pull the aggregate. And I'm gonna pull the aggregate instead of push it. I'm not sure if I'm calculating this properly, but so I also got a stepped belt. Just that'll be another way for us to adjust some of the belt speeds. So with all that, I should be able to cut this up and get it welded. So a couple things that happened was the belt's wider than the keg conveyor belt, so rollers. So what we need to do is bend these so that they V out, and that'll keep the aggregate down in the middle so that it'll land in the wheelbarrow. But since this roller is like 26 inches, so I needed to step this out, but the framing actually worked in our favor with the way that this is going to happen. And what I'm thinking of doing now is, since this is pretty heavy, this is a one-man, I'm thinking this will all be bolted together. This frame will be welded together, but then it'll be bolted to the conveyor belt, and then I'll put a pivot bolt right here, and then this will fold together, so that the frame and the motor will have to be probably disconnected as well. We'll see how much it weighs, but I'm thinking what I can do is either make this a 3-part or a 2-part one-man movable conveyor. And since now that I have a source of motor and roller, and I have enough belt, I might be able to make another one of these that will give me the ability to turn a corner, or maybe just go a little further. So check out the rest of my videos, and please subscribe. Like it if you like it, don't if you don't. But check out some of my other stuff. We got a bunch of stuff coming up. Weather's finally working in our favor, so hopefully we'll have I have one more treadmill that is a potential pickup by another job site if I can coordinate it. And if that's the case, then we'll add a I think we're going to add the cross-training stationary bike generator backup battery bank, which is a third project, but I don't have time for all those. So one thing at a time. I want to finish this one so we can get excavating. But anyway, check that out. See if this one gets finished. See if that one gets finished. And then we'll get back to all our other stuff. And we've got some more videos coming out on some concrete work and some stone carving and our all-around general carpentry. So, all right, y'all. Thanks.